The Special Drawing Right, or SDR, was created by the IMF in 1969 to supplement the official reserves of its member countries. The SDR is an interest-bearing international reserve asset that can only be held by the IMF, its member countries, and designated official entities known as prescribed holders. In addition to this role, the SDR serves as the unit of account of the IMF and several other international organizations. The IMF's financing arrangements with its member countries are denominated in SDRs. The value and yield of the SDR are defined using a basket of major currencies, which are selected due to their importance in the world's trading and financial systems. The SDR value is calculated daily, while its interest rate is determined on a weekly basis. The IMF Executive Board reviews the composition of the SDR basket every 5 years. This composition is revised to reflect major changes in the roles of various currencies in the world economy, and thus to enhance the attractiveness of the SDR as a reserve asset. In its most recent review in 2015, the board expanded the basket to include a fifth currency, the Chinese Renmimbi. The basket will now include the US dollar, euro, Chinese Renmimbi, Japanese yen, and pound sterling. SDRs are allocated to members in proportion to their IMF quotas and relative economic standing in the world economy. Every 5 years, the IMF reviews whether there is a global need for additional international reserves to justify a new allocation of SDRs. The most recent and by far the largest allocation took place in 2009 as part of the response to the global financial crisis. Currently, the amount of SDRs stands at over 204 billion. These allocations provide each member with on-demand access to freely usable currencies. Members can exchange SDRs for freely usable currencies from other members to meet a balance of payments need or to adjust the composition of their reserves. The SDR is therefore not a currency, nor a claim on the IMF, but a potential claim on the freely usable currencies of IMF members. At the time of the allocation, a member country is assigned two positions of the same amount: its SDR allocation and its SDR holdings. It receives interest on its holdings and pays interest on its allocation. The interest earned by a member on its holdings and paid out on its allocations are both based on the SDR interest rate. This means they cancel out completely as long as SDR holdings are equal to SDR allocations. The SDR market functions primarily through voluntary trading arrangements, or VTAs. Under these arrangements facilitated by the IMF, members volunteer to buy or sell SDRs. If a member exchanges SDRs for freely usable currencies, its SDR holdings fall while its foreign currency reserves rise. If its holdings fall below its cumulative allocations, it has to pay interest on the shortfall. If a member exchanges freely usable currencies for SDRs, its SDR holdings rise above its cumulative allocations, and it earns interest on the excess. In the event that there is insufficient capacity under the voluntary trading arrangements, the IMF can activate the designation mechanism, where it calls upon members with strong external positions to purchase SDRs from members with weak external positions. The value of the SDR as a reserve asset thus derives from the right to exchange it for freely usable currencies. Through this, the SDR plays an important role in providing liquidity to the global economic system.